Many of us grew up frequenting a building called a church. We knew what a baptismal font was, and we watched as candles were lit ceremoniously. We dipped our tiny wafers or cubes into purple liquid and prayed with our hands folded. We sang words including ancient pronouns of thee and thou. We looked at the stained glass windows when we got bored, and we showed up for Bible studies and Sunday school. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos Interfaith Center, where some of us have ceased showing up on Sunday mornings at a building called a church. Our reasons for stopping our attendance vary. Some of us have been hurt deeply by the people in charge of the churches, or by the people in the pews, or by unspoken rules that tell us we're not really welcome and loved fully. We're sort of told we need to hide a part of ourselves. Some of us ended our relationship with a building church when we no longer found the words spoken from the pulpit ringing true for our lives. Perhaps when the stories we had memorized as children did not hold meaning anymore for us. Or maybe the words in the text were interpreted in a way that didn't align with what we knew about Jesus or God or Mary Magdalene. And when these events felt as though we should step away, perhaps we visited the faith buffet and we tried on some new ways of living in spirit. Now, any or all of these things may have happened to you or not. I know we have many people who enjoy a God talk now and then and maintain a healthy relationship with a congregation and a denomination. Whatever your current position, I can say with assurance that your need for ritual has not disappeared. We need rituals. Whether it's baptism or observing the Sabbath or watching as candles are being lit, we need to have something we can count on. Things that are always going to happen and happen in somewhat the same manner as we expect. Rituals are not just exercises in movement as we walk through a meaningless parade of putting things in the right place and saying the right words. No, rituals are symbolic. They're physical ways that we can connect to a spiritual feeling, and they remind us of what our souls already know. That last sentiment aligns with Celtic spirituality. Our souls know what we need and what holds meaning for us. Rituals help us to connect with that meaning, to touch an ancient, familiar part of us. When people step away from an organized church, they tell me they miss the music, their friends, and the rituals. Now, I still officiate at weddings, baptisms, baby blessings, funerals, and memorials, and they're often held outdoors or in a living room. I've baptized a baby on the shore of Lake Ontario and children in a front yard. I've married people in parks, in country club gazebos, in living rooms, and at the Labyrinth in Brockport. I've blessed babies and children in pavilions and restaurants, and the point is, these rituals were as holy as those held in a building called a church. You need rituals. We all do. Why? Because it connects us to one another and to our history. We step outside the daily tasks and routines, and we participate in words and movements that have been prepared, words and movements that perhaps are being repeated from another time. And the space, the people, the words, the water, the sand are elevated to a more sacred place in our lives than they normally hold. The sand is still sand, but it portrays a sacred meaning as the two colors symbolize a union between Tina and Derek. The water is still water, but we have asked for divine blessing on it so that it can be used to sanctify Landon's baptism. Lori's side yard is still the same grass and fire pit and chairs, but we ask for divine presence to elevate those present to a safe and holy place for an hour or two. Rituals are important to remind us of and to connect us to our past. Because Calm in the Chaos is a community of souls who do not physically connect often, we must create our own rituals. The great pandemic year of 2020 left us with heartaches, loneliness, and many complex economic and social issues. However, I'm reminded that there were some lessons learned that continue to have use in our lives. I watched as our Christian neighbors celebrated Eucharist or took communion during 2020. Online pastors would ask people to choose something from their own kitchens to eat and drink while the pastor spoke familiar words. Communing with one another need not include wine and bread. It's all symbolic anyway. United Methodists and other organized denominations use grape juice instead of wine. And at seminary, we communed once with wine and chocolate. One of our professors was a chocolatier by trade, and she provided the elements for our ceremony. Communing together as a ritual takes place in a unique way in the Moravian Church. Moravians are a Christian group who organized in the 15th century, having originated in ancient Bohemia and Moravia. That region is presently what we know as the Czech Republic. Now, from time to time, the Moravians celebrate what is called a love feast during their regular worship service. Mugs of milk-infused coffee and cocoa are passed down the pews to accompany Moravian sugar buns. Now, the sugar bun is a confection that lies somewhere between a French beignet and a donut. The meal, as it is called, is blessed and all partake together. We can create our own rituals, and I think we should. There are families who read Clement Moore's poem every Christmas Eve together. There are those who visit a loved one's grave on Memorial Day. Some say grace before a meal. Some pray 5 times a day. Some fast during daylight hours. Some read ancient texts at a Seder meal gathering. Some cast a circle before reading poetry. Some circumcise infants. Some are immersed in water, and some recite familiar words weekly. Ritual. We're entering a period of time that is incredibly synchronous for the 3 Abrahamic religions. That's Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Now, Passover and Purim, Lent followed by Easter, and Ramadan all overlap this year. Recognizing and celebrating these holy days, it involves the carrying out of rituals. Rituals to ground us, to remind us who we are, and to connect us with others who share these patterns of movement and words, and ultimately to connect us to the spiritual world. There will be Seder dinners. There will be fasting and breaking fast. There will be praying. There will be restricted dietary laws. There will be worship and one wild celebration on Purim. And what if I don't identify as a Jew or a Christian or a Muslim? What if these rituals hold no meaning whatsoever for me? Is there a reason I should pay attention? Well, yes, I believe there is. Theologian Brian McLaren says, whether you stay Christian or not, you have to wake up the next morning and decide what kind of human to be. Yes, we do. Every day. Every day we have to decide what kind of human we want to be. Kind, humble, loving, compassionate, or mean-spirited, judgmental, and critical. We have to decide. And that decision may or may not have anything to do with religion, unless you're on an esoteric path of your religion being that of love. Now, I'm going out on a limb here, but for a minute, I'm going to assume that you, because you choose to be in the God Talk family, would choose to be the kind, humble, loving, compassionate human. And if this is so, our spiritual lives need attention if we are to stay on that sort of path. One of the important practices we can adopt is to add ritual to our lives, our own personal ritual. Now, what might that look like for you? I don't know. But here are some ideas. Do you have a quiet place in your home where you've placed objects that have spiritual meaning, an altar of sorts? Do you spend time there? Do you have a regular prayer time each day? Or do you listen to a YouTube of Buddhist chants? That's my personal favorite right now. Do you say a quick prayer before your feet hit the floor in the morning, as my friend Jane does? Maybe today, as we are surrounded by grocery stores' end caps filled with pasta and tuna for the No Meat Fridays, or as you recently saw neighbors with ashes on their foreheads, and as you may be invited to the local temple's community Seder, you could add a personal ritual to your life. Perhaps. Only your soul will know if it desires it to be so. Blessings. Our meditation today is a reading by an engineer and writer named Rahul Kaushik. The words are from his debut book called The Melting Words. I am at peace now. I am not always happy. God, no, I still get my mood swings. I still get sad. I almost shed tears in my weakest moments, but still, I am at peace in my life. I have learned to embrace the pain. I no more wait for everything to be fine. I smile for the little things. I expect less from others. And even when they hurt me, I take less time now to smile and move on. It's okay. I have wasted too much time of my life to make others treat me rightly. I am done demanding more. I'm done complaining. I'm done running the stupid race to have more than others. It's all so shallow. I know what I need to be happy, and I have that. I almost have all of it. I miss someone at times, but it's okay. I'm with myself. I will take care of myself. I am my own soulmate. I am not always sunshine, but the dark does not scare me anymore. I am both the day and the night. I am life. My soul is at peace. My smile is back. My heart is light. What else can I need? Our music recommendation is just beautiful background music that you might use for a ritual in your life. Blessings.